part of this BCLP orientation. And that is the exhortations. Exhortation is actually a motivational talk. A speaker that can motivate ladies and gentlemen to join the BCLP. And there's no other speaker who is well qualified to do this one. He graduated with a degree of business management in Ateneo de Manila. Presently, he is the executive regional head for Manulife Philippines with over 500 agents and leaders in the Visayas and Mindanao. His best achievement, he is most proud of, is telling the world's best dad, an award given by his only daughter, Mara, on Father's Day. Wow. My heart is aching and breaking. And BCBP has been serving in various capacities and capabilities in the BCBP for over 30 long years and is now the chapter head of BCBP Cebu North. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow BCBP members, it's our honor to introduce to you our speaker, Brother Jojo Veloso.
Thank you so much, Brother Ruden, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you tonight on this Saturday night for the orientation of what I would call a journey, the BCLP01. And I want to give a brief shout out to all the chapters involved, all right, to the South chapter, the Southwest chapter, Talisay chapter, Karkar, Argao, Balamban, and Toledo. A warm good evening to you all, as well as a warm welcome. So I'm so glad to be here, and I'm also excited because, you know, when I was looking at your theme, which is crossing to the other side, it makes me excited because it is like it's like a journey ba? And it me of the great explorers before, like Christopher Columbus, who discovered America, and of course our own Ferdinand Magellan discovered the Philippines. Even the early Filipinos, our forefathers, they rode in big bangkas and they explored. And they always were curious to know what's in the other side. So it's very apt to have this theme, crossing to the other side. Very nice theme. Now, I'm going to give you a very short exhortation. Brother Roden told me, it's going to be a motivational talk. I'll try my best to motivate you. However, the ideal and the ultimate motivation will come from within you. And my job is to make sure that you will not get demotivated. All right? So I will ask permission now to share my screen. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now, if you see here, there's only one word first. The word is why. So many of you will be asking that question, or you have already asked that question. Why am I here? So there may be several reasons. I'm here kay naikog ko. Sige kog invite the brother so and so. Naikog ko. Oh, I'm here because I was forced to come here by my friend. He's been calling me for a long time and told me about this for many weeks already. That's why I'm here. Or maybe I'm actually here because I'm curious to know what's in the other side. I'm curious about my Catholic faith because as far as I'm concerned, God for me is the God I go to Mass on Sundays. That's it. So I'm curious to know more. And for some of us also, we are searching. We are looking for something. We have reached a certain point in our life and asked the question, is this all there is to it? Very important question. So those are the reasons that we might be asking ourselves, and the reasons that why we might be here. But I'd like to start with a very interesting story. This one is about an old Indian legend. The title is very strange. It's about God who wanted to hide. So allow me to share this story. According to an ancient Hindu legend, there was a time when humans took God for granted. So the angels decided to have a meeting, and they decided to hide God because he was always being taken for granted. They wanted to hide him so that he can never be found. So in that council, the meeting of the angels, they said, okay, let us bury God deep down in the earth. Nobody will find him there. But they said, wait, that will not do because humans are known to dig deep into the earth. They have very deep minds. They will find God there. So the council said, okay, let's put him in the deepest part of the ocean. But they also objected, the others objected, no, not there, because men learned already how to dive deep in the ocean. Okay, let's put him in the top of the highest mountain. They cannot find him there. But one again objected and said, no, they will eventually climb every mountain, the highest peak, and then once they find God there, they'll take him for granted again. So the council gave up and said, we don't know where to hide God. It seems that there's no place on earth or in the sea that human beings will not eventually reach. So they thought hard for a long time and said, okay, someone came with the idea, said, why don't we hide God deep inside the center of their own hearts? Humans will never think of looking for him there. And they all agreed that was the perfect hiding place. And after that, humans have been going up to space, down to the deepest recesses of the earth, diving, climbing, and exploring, searching for someone who already exists deep in their hearts. As they say, the longest journey is not from here to the equator or the other side of the world. The longest journey is from the head to the heart. So that is my point about the God who wanted to hide. So we can learn a lot from that. All of us are searchers. That's why we want to see what's on the other side. Because man by nature is a searcher. Searcher for what? A searcher for meaning in life. Okay? We're searching for meaning in life. We're looking for something infinite. But sadly, we're looking it in the finite. That's what St. Augustine said. We're searchers for meaning in life, and we're searchers for significance in our businesses and our professions. All right? The BCBP is an arena of business people in the marketplace, establishing a counterculture. More on that when you get deeper into the CLP, our BCLP. Now, in her book, I'd like to share this with you, The Believers in Business by Laura Nash. She talks about 7 tensions that businessmen encounter. These are challenges of Christian businessmen. Number 1, serving God versus the pursuit of wealth. Should it be one or the other? Number 2, love versus competition. Should we hate our competitors or love them? Number 3, people needs versus profit obligations. Do we sacrifice, for example, the health of people because for the sake of profit? Those are questions, ethical questions. Number 4, family versus work. How much time should I spend with my family? Is it enough? Should I be working overtime? I need to pay my bills. Well, nowadays, in the pandemic, we don't know when work is going to stop because we're working in the house. That's the contradicting situation, no? Number 5, keeping personal perspective in the face of success. Some might be overwhelmed with success and it becomes an endless pursuit of wealth after wealth after wealth. There is no such word as enough anymore. Number 6, charity versus wealth. Why am I given this wealth? Why am I accumulating so much wealth? Do I believe that I'm going to bring it with me when I go? There must be a purpose for my wealth. And number 7, being a faithful witness in a pluralistic workplace. How do you deal with corruption? How do you deal with other shady transactions as a Christian in the business place, in the marketplace? So all these tensions, brothers and sisters, are things that are happening and causing inner turmoil within us, business owners. But our desire is to do the right thing. Instead of making things right, let us do the right thing. And we need guidance on doing the right thing. We need a movement, a culture that would encourage that. So going back to the question, why? Why am I here? The fact is, you are here. That's what's most important. You are here. And you are here in different kinds of situations. You might be here and you're undergoing a health challenge. It's very common nowadays. You might be undergoing that health challenge, and along with that, a financial problem might come up. My finances don't look good because of the pandemic. That's another problem. But also, there is a difference between being called and being driven. Some of you might have already experienced degrees of success. You're driven to conquer the world, to conquer the business place, to conquer the marketplace, to overshoot your goals. Am I saying it's bad? That's not bad. However, there might be a difference by being driven and being called. There must be a reason why we are here in the marketplace. And there must be a reason why you became so successful. Lastly, if I pursue wealth, what might I be losing with all of this gaining? So these are questions that are very healthy to ask, especially for us who are already in what we call our halftime in life. Like in a basketball game, the second half is more exciting. Asking yourself the question of your legacy. What do I wish to be remembered for? According to St. Augustine, is the beginning of adulthood. It's the beginning of becoming serious in life. It's the beginning to make use of your time. The most productive use of your time, the most meaningful use of your time. Very important question by the great saint, St. Augustine. All right. Now, allow me, brothers and sisters, to share with you my own journey. This is part of my journey in the BCBP, when I joined the BCBP. And it is about the Dead Sea story. No? You might have heard of this, but let me just briefly explain before I close. The Dead Sea is dead because there's no life that thrives in it. It is dead because it's super saturated with salt. And with that amount of salt there, no life can survive. In fact, if you go to the Dead Sea and swim in it, you cannot sink because it is super saturated with salt. It's very thick. You cannot sink. You can read the newspaper while lying down on the Dead Sea, floating. So it is dead primarily because it has several inlets, but no outlet. So as the rivers and lakes pour into it, it always receives, accumulates. It never gives. So that when the sun causes the water to evaporate, the salt is left there and it becomes very, very salty. That's why it's dead. In other words, it always receives and never gives. However, a few kilometers away is the Sea of Galilee. The Sea of Galilee is a sea teeming with life. All right? Teeming with life. Now, it's teeming with life because it has a lot of outlets and very few inlets. It gives more than it receives. Right? Now, I'm telling you this story because one day, way back in my career, I was what the corporate world would call a go-getter. Maybe some of you can identify with me. A go-getter. Meaning in the sales world, you need to be a go-getter. You need to be one step ahead of your competitor. You need to make a sale. So in every prospect's head was the sign of a peso. I was a go-getter. Now, along with being a go-getter, achieving goals has also a consequence, which is stress and pressure. So much so that it came to a point that I wasn't healthy, I got sick. And when I got sick, I stayed home and I couldn't work because part of my sickness was I couldn't walk. So I ended up staying at home. And while I was at home, I forced myself to read a book, which was lying around. And it was a small prayer book. And when I opened the book, it opened to an article which said, be a go-giver. Be a go-giver. So as I was reading, I said, wait, this is totally opposite of what I'm doing. I'm a go-getter. What is a go-giver? So when I read about the go-giver, it talked about the Dead Sea. After I finished reading that, I realized that I was the Dead Sea. Getting and getting and accumulating, but there's no life in it. I wanted to be the Sea of Galilee. I wanted to be a go-giver. So after that painful realization, I slowly changed my mindset. Along with the environment of the BCBP, which encourages growth, aligned with the principles of giving, I changed my business mindset from a go-getter to a go-giver. And that made all the difference. Looking for your customers or your clients' need ahead of yours became so much less stressful. One of the Christian salesperson who gave a talk said that if you want to get what you want, you should help other people get what they want first. Go-giver. That was the go-giver mentality. So that is one of the many internal victories that I experienced, brothers and sisters, in this environment of the BCBP. And of course, it took the BCLP to get me into this environment. So in closing now, I want to live with you with this journey. The journey of BCLP is from a life that's devoid or lacks meaning to a purpose-driven life. Okay? It's from a life of success, if you have already experienced success, to a life of significance, making an impact on society as a whole. The BCBP is the counterculture where purpose and significance are discovered. And believe me, brothers and sisters, it's going to be an exciting journey, lots of possibilities, lots of realization, and lots of room for personal growth and fulfillment. Yes, miracles happen. A lot of miracles happen because the author of life is here in the BCLP, whom you will get to know as the course runs. Now, one advice is this: just be open. Just be open, open-minded, Just be open to the teachings and the ideas. Just have your mind open because your mind is like a parachute. It only functions when it's open. Long time ago, in closing, this was the one that was prodding me. The more you listen to the voice within you, the better you will hear what's going on outside. Meaning, if you go deep back inside you, remember the story I said a while ago, the God who wanted to hide, he is hiding within you. It's actually that still small voice that wakes you up in the morning. Many, many years ago, at dawn, I woke up at dawn. It was still dark, but I woke up because of the sound of the ruffling of the curtains, because there was a slight breeze. And when I woke up, I looked at it, a slight breeze, and a song came into my mind. The song was this, based from Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8. Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. That whisper was a very loud voice to me. And slowly but surely, my paths was aligned with the paths towards the Lord. And the BCLP was very instrumental in bringing me to that path. So it's the same for you, brothers and sisters. This is an invitation to sit it out from now until the end of the course and just be open. And you will go through this journey towards the destination which you never ever imagined. And it's all going to be worth it. So once again, thank you for having me. God bless you all on your journey.
Thank you very much, Brother Jojo. Thank you very much. You know, a small voice just also whispered me. This guy gave a God-sent message of life to the BCLP participants tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, two stories. The farthest, now if you listen, distance is from the brain to the heart. And Brother Jojo said that. Next, he said about the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee. Distance and sea. Don't you know, these are maritime terms, right? And tonight, you are marinated. So, eventually, Brother Jojo is the right speaker for us tonight for this journey. Thank you very much, Brother Jojo. At this juncture, I'd like to ask our digital team to present together with Brother Henry, to show the certificate of appreciation to Brother Jojo. For me to read also the certificate of appreciation, Brother Mix. Thank you very much. To Brother Jojo Josimari Veloso for spending time to spiritually prepare our participants and servants of Cebu South Region BCLP01, dated on this day of August 2021. Signed, yours truly, no other than our Cebu South Region RCD, Brother Henry Burgos. Thank you very much, Brother Jojo.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and privilege. Thank you very much, Brother Rudin, Brother Henry.
It was a great talk. Yeah.
God bless you all. God bless you all.
Thank you very much.